Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back to the series of how to use programming in automation. Okay. So as part of this series today, I'm going to show you how to use while loop in automation. Okay. So while loop is repeatedly executes a set of instructions until the given condition becomes false. Okay, I will repeat once again. While loop repeatedly executes a set of instructions. It repeatedly executes a set of instructions until the given condition becomes false. Okay. So the syntax is while condition, and if the condition is true, it execute this code or block of instructions. Okay, so I will explain how it works. Okay, so before each repetition, the loop checks for the condition. It checks for the condition, and if the condition is true, it executes the code. Okay, so this process repeats while the condition remains true. Okay, so I will repeat once again. So it will check for the condition. If the condition is true, then it will execute this code. Okay, and this process repeats while the condition remains true. Okay, and once the condition is false, then it will stop the looping. Okay, so once the condition becomes false, then the loop stops. Okay, so to show you this, I will use Amazon example. Okay, so this is really very good example. You're going to learn a lot. So what example I will show you is, if you scroll down, first I will search for a product. I will search pen and I will scroll down, and here we can see this pagination. Okay, so if I click on next, it will go to the next page. Okay, I will show you this example. So there are 7 pages. Okay, so this is the condition. Okay, so it will be clicking on next button until this next button is, where it is, here. Okay, so until this next button is visible or enabled. Okay, so once this next button is disabled, it will stop executing the loop, or it will stop the loop. Okay, so I will say once again. So it will come here to this pagination and it will be clicking on this next button. Okay, so once this next button reaches the end, or it grayed out, then it will stop the execution. Okay, so I will show you how it will grade out and how it will become. We're in page 6. So we can see now we cannot click on next anymore because this next button is grayed out. Okay, so we'll see how to automate this. Okay, I'll launch Amazon once again. Okay, so here I've already created a spec file and identified the locator, entered the pen, and clicked on this. What is that? Search button. Okay. So here we can see that by default I set 2 minutes waiting period. Okay. So as you can see that Amazon is, it has many products to load and it will take time. Okay. So for that reason, I don't want it should fail. So I've set the time set. I've set the default time to 2 minutes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let us start our automation. Okay. So first I'll create a variable called page count. Okay, and I will set it to 1. Okay, so here this variable which holds the page number we are currently on. Okay, so by default we will be in page 1. Okay, then while true, we are creating while loop. Okay, while true. So what I'm doing here is, we are creating infinite loop. Okay, so we are creating infinite loop, and when it will stop is, as I said, once the next button becomes disabled, then it will stop. Okay, so remember, while true is an infinite loop and it will be keep running forever or keep looping forever. Okay. Okay, so now I'll just put a console statement just to show you currently we are on which page. Okay, so here it is, currently on page. So here is the page count. Okay. Okay, so it will display currently we are on which page. Okay. Okay, so now I'll search some product. I will search pen only, and I want to scroll to the bottom. Okay, because the next this next button and this pagination is at the bottom, so I will give a condition, not a condition, I will tell the code to scroll down. So once it is scrolled down, then it is easy to identify the next button. Okay, so I will say once again, so there are many products and it has to find next button in this, correct? So I will say scroll to the bottom, then I'll ask to identify the locator for the next button. Okay. Okay, so I've tried without this, it didn't work. Okay, so that's why I'm scrolling down. So how to scroll down? Await page dot evaluate. Just you can remember this to scroll down. Okay, window dot scroll to, this is a method, window dot scroll to 0 comma document dot body dot scroll height. This will scroll to the bottom. Okay. Okay, so now we are at the bottom, so I will give some weight. Okay, wait page dot wait for timeout, so I will give some weight. So as I said, it is an Amazon application and it has many elements to load, so it will fail. So I will give some weight. I will give some 3 seconds of wait. Okay. Okay, so now what we need to do, so we need to get the locator of the next button. So here is the next button. Let us inspect. Okay, it has class. So here we have, this class contains, this contains many classes. So I will take pagination next. Okay, class. Okay, one matching element, and I will take with the tag. What is the tag? A. Okay, anchor tag. Okay, so I will keep this next button in some variable. I will call next button const next button is equal to await page dot locator. This is the locator. Okay. Okay, so now let us put if condition. Okay, so why if condition is, so only click on next button, only the next button count is greater than 1, means it should be present, the next button should be present and it should be visible. Okay, only then click on it. Okay, so if, how to put that condition, if await next button dot count, next button dot next button dot count greater than 0, it should be there, it should be present and it should be visible. Okay, logical and operator both should be true. Okay, await next button dot is visible, it should be visible. Okay, then what I want is, I hope you're following. Okay, so if it is true, then what I want to do is I want to get the I'll explain you. I want to get the attributes of class. Why? Because once this next button disabled, it adds some class. Okay. Okay. So currently this is the class. Okay. I'll put it in some notepad. Yeah, it's already there. Okay. So currently this is the next button class. It has this many, the next button has these many classes. Okay. And once it is disabled, it includes this class. Okay. Pagination disabled, s pagination disabled. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get the attribute of this classes, and once I get the attribute of the classes, if it is present, okay, in the next button, if this attribute is present, then we want to print a message that next button is disabled and we want to break the loop. Okay. Okay, so I will show you. Okay, I'll go to next button. Okay, so now let us inspect. Now it is grayed out. We cannot click on it anymore. So we can see that it added pagination disabled class in it. Okay, so we want this. So we should get the attribute of class. Okay. Okay. So how to get a wait next button dot get attribute. Okay, so get attribute class. So we want to get the attribute of class, and we will keep it in some variable. Okay, const class value. Okay, and we got this. If we'll put a condition, if class value dot includes, okay, we will say if this includes this class, if it includes this class, if it is includes this, then what I want to print, we want to print console.log. In console.log, what we want to print, we want to print that next button is disabled. Okay, next button is disabled and we want to break. We don't want to continue if the next button is disabled. Okay. Okay, if it is not disabled, what we want to do, we want to click on next button. Correct. So we'll put a statement saying clicking on next button. Okay. Okay, so how to click on next button? So before clicking on next button, I want to take the view to this next button. Okay, so how to take the view or how to highlight the next button? Simple. Await next button dot scroll into view if needed. Okay, so it will scroll down to that next button. Okay, so this will scroll down the entire page. This method scroll into view if needed, it will scroll to that until this next button. Okay, so once it is scroll down, I want to wait for some time. Await page dot wait for timeout. So I will wait for 3 seconds. Okay, then I want to click on next button. Await next button dot click. So you know the method to click. The method is click, next button dot click. So once I click on that, I will wait until the document completely loaded. Okay, so for that there is a playwright method, that is page dot wait for load state. Okay, this is the method, page dot wait for load state, and we have to say document loaded. Okay, until the documents completely loads we have to wait. Okay, okay, then I will give some hard wait. I'll copy it just to make sure you're seeing the execution. Okay, after that we will count, we will increase the page count plus plus. Okay, so once it clicks on next button, it will increase the page count, means it will go to the page 2. Okay, by default we will be in page 1, and once it clicks on next button it will go to page 2. Okay, so this execution will happen when the next button is present and it is visible. Okay, so what if the next button is not present or visible? So we'll put a here, we'll put else condition. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to do first we want to print the statement, sorry, console.log. We want to say next button is not visible or you know not exist. Okay, next button is not visible or does not exist. Then we want to break the loop. Okay, so once everything is done, we want to print a statement, pagination ended. Okay, so let us execute. Okay, so what is the spec file name? While loop. Press enter. If you think you're learning something from this video, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, enter pen and scroll down. We can see here. Okay, so it's we said scroll into view next button. It clicked on next button. Okay, so we gave document, so we can see that it highlighted here. Okay, next button is highlighted because we said scroll into view if needed. Okay, and after clicking on next button, we said wait for load state document loaded. Only after that it's continuing the execution. So we are at page 4. So we can see here currently it is showing currently we are on which page, and clicking on next button. So we're on page 6 and it clicked on next button. Okay, the execution is completed and we can see one test passed. So we see that pagination ended. Next button is not visible or does not exist. When the next button we already, I mean when the next button grayed out, so we will get this message. The next button is not visible or does not exist. Okay. Okay, so this is how we will use while loop in automation. Okay, so it will be checking for the condition. So what is the condition? Next button is being disabled. Okay, so once the next button is disabled, it will stop the execution. Okay, okay, so I hope you understand this, and if you think you learned something from this video, please do like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you so much for watching.